In the heart of Uganda, nestled among the rolling hills and lush greenery, stood the small village of Nalwoga. The village was known for its tight-knit community, vibrant traditions, and deep-rooted faith. At the center of it all was the Miracle Church of Zion, a modest structure with a tin roof and walls painted in bright colors. The church was led by Pastor Ezekiel, a charismatic and enigmatic figure who had gained a reputation far beyond the borders of Nalwoga. Pastor Ezekiel was no ordinary preacher. He was known for his unconventional methods of performing miracles, methods that both fascinated and terrified his congregation. His most famous tool was a large, golden-brown python named Ssamba, which he claimed was a divine instrument sent by God to heal the sick and perform wonders. The story of how Pastor Ezekiel came to possess Ssamba was shrouded in mystery. Some said he had found the snake coiled around a tree in the forest, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Others believed it had been gifted to him by a visiting prophet from a distant land. Whatever the truth, Ssamba had become an integral part of the church's identity. Every Sunday, the Miracle Church of Zion was packed with believers and skeptics alike, all eager to witness the pastor's miracles. The service would begin with lively singing and dancing, the air filled with the rhythmic beat of drums and the clapping of hands. Then, as the congregation reached a fever pitch of excitement, Pastor Ezekiel would emerge from the back room, Ssamba draped around his shoulders like a living stole. The first time he had brought the snake into the church, there had been gasps of fear and disbelief. But as the weeks went by, the congregation grew accustomed to the sight. They watched in awe as Pastor Ezekiel would lay hands on the sick, then gently place Ssamba on their bodies. The snake would coil and uncoil, its movements seemingly guided by an unseen force. And then, miraculously, the sick would rise, their ailments gone. One Sunday, a young woman named Nalwoga came to the church. She had been suffering from a mysterious illness that left her weak and unable to walk. Her family had tried everything traditional healers, modern medicine, but nothing had worked. Desperate, they brought her to Pastor Ezekiel. As the service reached its climax, Pastor Ezekiel called Nalwoga forward. The congregation held its breath as he placed Ssamba on her legs. The snake moved slowly, its scales glinting in the light streaming through the church windows. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, Nalwoga stood up. The crowd erupted in cheers and praises to God. But not everyone was convinced. Among the congregation was a young journalist named David who had come to investigate the rumors of snake miracles. He was skeptical, convinced that there had to be a logical explanation for what he was seeing. After the service, he approached Pastor Ezekiel, hoping to get some answers.
Pastor, David began, how do you explain the miracles performed by Ssamba? Is it truly divine power? Or is there something else at work? Pastor Ezekiel smiled enigmatically. Faith, my son, is a mystery. Ssamba is but a vessel, a tool through which God's power flows. It is not for us to question the ways of the Almighty, but to believe and be healed. David wasn't satisfied, but he knew he wouldn't get a straight answer. Determined to uncover the truth, he began to dig deeper, interviewing members of the congregation and researching the history of the church. What he discovered was a complex web of faith, fear, and tradition. Some believed that Ssamba was a reincarnation of an ancient spirit, a protector of the village. Others thought it was simply a well-trained snake, its movements choreographed to create the illusion of miracles. But for most, the truth didn't matter. What mattered was the hope and healing that the Miracle Church of Zion brought to their lives. As David prepared to leave the village, he found himself standing outside the church, watching as the sun set behind the hills. He still didn't know what to believe, but he couldn't deny the impact that Pastor Ezekiel and Ssamba had on the people of Nalwoga. Whether by divine intervention or human ingenuity, the Miracle Church of Zion had become a beacon of hope in a world filled with uncertainty. And so, the legend of the Serpent's blessing continued to grow, drawing people from far and wide to witness the miracles of the Miracle Church of Zion.